Hi, I'm Nate from Green Meadow, and I'm here today with John Garcia. Thanks for coming in, John.
Absolutely, thanks for having me again.
So we're at the end of 2021, and throughout the last year and a half with COVID, we've seen the price of gas go from less than $2 to almost about $4, and we're seeing costs of goods go up, including clothing and toys right around Christmas time. What is that doing to the price of fertilizers and chemistry and things like that?
So there's a lot of different things at play with the global markets. I mean, it is really unfortunate, the timing of everything with Christmas coming up, and everybody was feeling good about being back to a little bit, semblance of normalcy after COVID and all that, and businesses were kind of starting to kick up, and now we have all these crunches coming at us from every direction. In terms of fertilizer, it's a really complicated scenario.
Well, John, not the long version today. Let's cut to the chase. Why are the prices going up? Number one, natural gas is going up. Big impact on the way we make fertilizer. Number two, China. Number three, imports. Everything's backed up in LA. Dramatically affects what you're going to pay for fertilizer next year.
The three main components in the bag of fertilizer, as we talked about a little bit earlier, are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And there's lots of different sources of nitrogen. The main one that's utilized in lawn care is urea. And urea is produced with natural gas. And so the cost of natural gas globally going up and being out of control the way that it has been over the last 8 to 10 months is really driving the price of urea a lot more than what we thought. Because of the cost of natural gas, China has throttled back their production of urea. They're basically kind of hoarding a lot of the fertilizer components now as well. So they shut off all exports of fertilizer urea to India, for instance.
Okay.
And what that's doing is that's making India have to go out onto the rest of the world market and try to source those components, those fertilizer products elsewhere. And it's really straining the U.S. supply on fertilizer product. Most of our fertilizer products in the U.S. are imported. There is some production that's done in Texas and some other places, but the vast majority of our fertilizer products come in. Like you talked about jeans and toys and so many of the other things that we buy on a regular basis. All of those things have to come in on barges. We've got 60 or 80 of them backed up in the ports of California right now. About a year ago, it cost around $2,500 to bring a container on a barge from Asia to the US. It's upward of $25,000 now today. Wow. So you get it here over the waters on a barge, and then it's got to be taken off the barge and put on a truck, which is another pinch point in our supply chain right now. Yeah, as a country, we're 80,000 drivers short, CDL drivers short of where we really need to be. All of our grass seed in New England comes from Oregon. And a year ago, it would cost Atlantic Golf and Turf about $2,500 to bring a tractor trailer load of grass seed from Oregon to Massachusetts. Today, it's about $12,500. In 1 year, that's the difference. Yeah. These truck drivers, they can basically name their price right now. They can choose where they want to go, when they want to go there, and how much they want to get paid because they're in such short supply.
Yeah. And you also mentioned earlier about grass seed, the grass seed shortage, and farmers out in Oregon are switching to hazelnuts and hemp and other things that have increased in demand, so that's also driving the price of grass seed up.
Exactly. So the overall story, circling back on the fertilizer thing, there's so many different. It takes fuel to produce it, and then there's so many touch points of getting it on a barge, getting it on a truck, getting it to the distributor, which is me, and then getting it, basically stored and then put back on the truck when you're ready to take delivery of it. And really what we've ended up seeing in one calendar year, we've seen over 160% increase in the cost of urea and in the cost of potassium. Wow. Which is really pretty shocking and pretty dramatic. So that's where we kind of find ourselves from that perspective right now. Grass seed, you touched on very briefly. And those are the reasons the farmers are growing more profitable crops that are easier to grow, that have a better return for them, which means that we have, as an industry, less grass seed to have access to. And like everything else in our economy, the supply and demand thing is going to really have a big impact on that going forward.